We're gonna break down high intensity interval training because I don't think a lot of people know the difference between cardio, steady state cardio, and what high intensity interval training is. So specifically, I'm gonna break down the basic form of high intensity interval training. So the basic form, if you're doing it for a short amount of time, so I say about 15 minutes, I always do 20 seconds on and then 40 seconds off, okay? So this is for short amount of time. So let's just say less than 15 minutes. You want these intervals to be shorter, okay? If you're gonna do longer HIIT, so let's say up to 30 minutes of high intensity interval training, so that way we might move into 30 seconds on and 60 seconds off. And if you notice a trend here, this is always 2 times the amount of what you are on, okay? So you're always resting for twice as long as the output that you're putting out. And I'll explain why I always do my HIIT like this. And sometimes we'll even do 1 minute on and we will do 2 minutes off. Not often do I do it like this unless I need to mix in different exercises that would allow your heart rate to drop. So mainly what we're doing here is we're looking for, this is more than 15 minutes. We're looking for something that spikes your heart rate and then you allow your heart rate to drop at a moderate rate to then spike it up again. So your heart rate's gonna do this when we're working in this on phase, and it's going to peak, it's going to level out just for a little bit depending on how long this, how long you're putting out, and then it's going to start to drop during your off. And so what we want to see is a cycle like this. During this period here, that's where you're going to burn the fat. That's like where the fat burning, and I'm keeping this really simple, there's a lot more science into that. But this is where the fat burning comes into place, which is right here. When your heart rate is dropping, not when it's peaking. So you don't want to switch these, because if you switch and do 40 seconds on, 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, you switch that and you actually burn a lot more carbs and you keep your heart rate a lot higher with shorter drops. So it looks like this. And so you can tell the fat burning is a lot less than this big chart up here. So that's the main reason why I do high intensity interval training with 20, 40 is the most common when I was training in person. And now when I do it myself, I'm doing 30 seconds on, 60 seconds off, because you want your heart rate to drop. You don't want it to drop too long. So if we're talking percentages, this is the last thing I'll mention. If we're talking percentages, I typically say above 85% is what you want to put out when you are, when you're doing the activity, whatever choice. It can be any sort of activity. It can be exercises from weight training to something like a sprint. It can include cardio as well. And then I typically tell my clients 40 to 60% is the rest, because we don't want the heart rate to do this. We don't want to like that. Not because the fat burning is great, but that's a lot of stress for your heart. So just trying to summarize, this is high intensity interval training. I hope this video helped.